All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Vista Ventures. I'm Caleb, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm down at the southern end of the Mid-State Trail here, just right at the Pennsylvania-Maryland line. I'm going to be trying to do sections 1 and 2 here of the Mid-State Trail. I think it's like a 13 to 14 mile section, and then I think another 14 mile section there to get me into Everett. So there's nothing real special down here, just kind of spits you off here at the a turn on the road. So fortunately my mother-in-law and grandmother-in-law gave me a ride down here this morning, so that's good. It is raining a little bit, which is kind of a bummer, but I don't think it's supposed to be too bad. So with that, we're going to get on the trail and get started. Alright, now that we made it up here on top, give you guys a little bit of a better idea what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm going to be doing sections 1 and 2 of the Mid-State Trail. For those who don't know, the Mid-State Trail basically bisects the state of Pennsylvania north to south. Goes from Maryland the whole way up to New York. I've done a few sections of it here and there. I've even done this section once before, many moons ago, but we're in peak fall foliage conditions here, according to DCNR, so definitely wanted to get out and take advantage of this. And the temperatures are supposed to be like in the mid to upper 70s today, and it's the end of October, so that's pretty stellar. It is still just kind of raining a little bit off and on here, but it hasn't been bad at all so far. So the plan is I'm going to hike the whole way up here to Route 326, and that's pretty much the last place you can camp legally before you get into a huge stretch of game lands. So I'm going to camp up there. I'm actually going to be meeting up with Jared, who you guys have seen before on the channel. He's going to meet me there, camp with me tonight, and then we're going to hike section 2 together tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow as well, so I think we should have a pretty spectacular trip. All right, it's just after 11:30. I made it out here to Beans Cove Road. There's a nice parking area here and a picnic table right here behind me, which is always a bonus. The only thing that's not a bonus is that it's still drizzling rain. It was only supposed to be maybe some scattered showers for a couple hours. Well, so far the scattered showers have just been almost constant drizzle this whole time, which fortunately it hasn't ever been super heavy, but could certainly be just a little bit better, but it is helping make the foliage pop, so that's kind of nice. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and pop the pack here since there is a picnic table and have lunch. Then we'll keep hammering down the trail. Alrighty guys, just before 1 o'clock here, I'm just making it almost up to the top of the Martin Hill section here, just past a campsite back there. It was kind of small, but there were a couple tent pads there, and I mean, you could certainly make hammocks work. And then there is a spring signage right here. I did walk down there. There's a couple puddles. That's pretty much all there is. You have to scoop some leaves out. I mean, you could get water out of there, but definitely not a gushing water source for sure. I did want to mention this is actually kind of a neat section right in here for me personally. This is actually a place where Dave and I had camped, I don't know, it's probably been 8 years ago now. It was actually my first hammock camping experience, so it kind of holds a special place for me. But I'm just going to hike up the rest of this hill here. It's not much of an elevation gain, and I think there is a small vista up there, so certainly be looking forward to that. This whole climb up to the top of Martin Hill and now coming down the backside has just been absolutely stunning. Just the foliage and everything is popping. There's just a slight breeze which is blowing some leaves down, so they're just kind of gently falling to the ground. I'm sure whatever footage I've gotten so far, and I'll get the rest of the day, just really won't do it justice. This has been some spectacular just time out in the woods today. Alrighty guys, it's just after 3 o'clock. I just took a real short stint down the Sweet Root Trail here, maybe, I don't know, 100 yards tops, just to get to a water source that's down here so I could get filled up. Water sources have definitely been pretty sparse so far today. Not a lot to choose from. There was that pond up on the backside over there before I got to that Beans Cove Road. but it was pretty murky. And then most of the other springs and stuff were either dry or had basically a trickle in. You know, right in here along this, I think this Parkland Trail was the first actual water I had seen. I'm not sure if there's any more till I get to camp. And then after that, I don't think there's any more. Maybe as much as all day tomorrow. So right now I'm cameled up with 5 liters of water. So I'm pretty well loaded down like a pack mule. But I think I've only got 3 miles or so to camp. So I'm just going to push out this last 3 miles, and at least I'll have plenty of water. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys this campsite that's marked on the Far Out app. It's definitely pretty small. I'd say better for tents. You could make hammocks work in here, but then it's a lot of this just like little scrub brush stuff all around. There is a halfway decent vista right out there, but other than that, that's pretty much some Spartan accommodations here. So I'm gonna actually back down the trail and see if I can't find a better spot. All right, I got back down here on the mid-state, and then it just kind of follows this kind of straight line grade out. It's pretty much the border between the state forest land and the state game lands land. Of course, you can't camp on state game lands here in Pennsylvania. So right here behind me is some nice pines. I'm pretty sure it just gets pretty gnarly on out there with more of that like scrubby brush like was in that campsite up there. So I think I'm just going to duck down here in these pines and try to eke out a campsite down in here, but I think it's going to work pretty decent. Alrighty guys, I got my hammock and everything all set up. Then Jared has joined us. He's over here behind me. He's getting his hammock and everything set up. And then I did make a little fire ring right here behind me. So I'm going to get the rest of the stuff kind of squared away here, and then I'm going to start gathering up some firewood since it's going to get dark here in 30-40 minutes or so. So just try to get some of that ready, and then we can just kind of hang out by the fire, eat supper, and then just get ready for the mileage tomorrow. Alright guys, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but I just kind of had a stroke of genius here. So on the last trip I did on the Loyal Sock Air with Dan from Backpacking Adventures, he had this sweet bellows that really helped get the fire going, and I was just sitting here thinking, dang, I really should have bought one of them before I come out here on this trip. But then I was thinking, well, I wonder if I can use the middle section of my trekking pole, because it's hollow, so I tore it apart, and check this out. Works pretty good. Thinking. Just got to make sure you don't get it too close to the fire. Alright guys, we got the fire going pretty good. Jared just hiked back to the car, got us some extra bottles of water for the night. And he asked, he's like, hey, did you eat yet? No, not yet. He said, good, don't eat. He says, we got a surprise. I was like, okay, this is good, this is good. So let me show you what he brought. So Jared comes rolling into camp with a full-blown rotisserie chicken. So we're just gonna go full carnivore diet tonight. So I'm pretty pumped about that. It's way better than my tuna pack and rice side that I was planning on. Outstanding performance, Jared. Outstanding.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, we got supper wrapped up. Now we've both got bellies full of rotisserie chicken. That was super clutch. Excellent work, Jared. We need to make that a staple. You know, rotisserie chickens on every hike. That would be great. So I just looked at the Far Out app, and it looks like I hiked about 15.5 miles to get to where we are now. Jared and I talked. We kind of got a plan in place for tomorrow. We got about 16.5 miles to get down there to Everett. We're going to get up at 5:30, get packed up, and then we're going to try to hike out 1.5 miles. We got there's a real nice vista out there that I've been to a couple times. So the goal is to try to get packed up, hike out there to it, and then just kind of set up when we can have breakfast out there as the sun rises. I think that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, the biggest concern for tomorrow is the water situation. I'm not real convinced that there's going to be water for that whole 16 miles. I don't know. So we're just kind of going to go with the assumption that there's not going to be. So we're just going to camel up just to be safe. So that, guys, good night. We'll see you in the morning.